We're about to go ahead and get started because we have some very interesting news. And I gotta say, it seemed like it was going to be a quiet week, but as in tech, you never know. There's always something coming up. And soon, the video feed will be coming in. If you are watching on the mobile live, please feel free to let me know. I would love to know if you're watching on the mobile live. I want to see if it's actually working or not. If it is, let me know. Put it down into the chat. All right. There's a lot of exciting things that are happening. There's already some rumors coming up with this AMD GPU that you may or may have not heard. Let's see. Let me just tune this up a bit. What's up, Anana? Welcome to the live. We're just about to get started here. Hopefully you can hear me great. I had to do some microphone adjustments, but here I am. Are you watching on the mobile or the horizontal version of the live? I gotta know. Anana, feel free to answer back. What's up, Carla? We're just about to go ahead and get started. There's a lot of exciting things going on with the PC world. Good, perfect. And we are going live. Oh, wrong button there. There we go. Now we're officially live. But anyway, I gotta say, welcome everybody. I'm excited to see everyone come in. I want to thank Carla for coming in. I want to thank Nana for coming in. I'm sure you've heard a lot of issues going on with these Windows updates. Hopefully you haven't updated to that security update if you do have a PC build. If you are planning to do a PC build, feel free to say something in the comments down below. Would love to hear from you guys, especially because this week it's going to be quite exciting. We're going to end up going to Micro Center. It turns out one of my friends is going to go out there to purchase his PC parts, and we will go live on Saturday morning, and I will let you know as soon as it happens and all the details with it. But hopefully you've been paying attention to the whole processor side of the news. It seems that if you get an Intel processor, if you are interested if you're interested in building a PC, especially if you're trying to game on something like Battlefield 6, it does come with a Battlefield 6 key. So if you are looking to build a PC and you want to play Battlefield 6, it's a good combination unless you're a bit sketched out about not Battlefield, but you're more sketched out about a Intel build. I would say don't really worry about it if you're not the type of person to upgrade their PC constantly. So, Michael and Nancy, welcome. Can I get a shout out? My mom died yesterday. Yeah, sure. Michael and Nancy, shout out to you guys out there. I apologize for what had happened. My condolences, really. That's a shame to hear. Is everyone, okay. Are you watching on the shorts, or are you watching on, not the shorts, but are you watching the vertical live or watching the horizontal live? Feel free to put it down in the comments down below. I would love to know. Currently, I'm trying to work with something, seeing how well it does work with each other. It's been, I gotta say, quite interesting. It doesn't seem too accurate when it comes to the whole viewer count. But anyway, if you are thinking of building a PC, that is a tip I can certainly give you. Also, if you plan on getting an NVIDIA GPU, now it can't be a 5060 or a 5060 Ti. It has to be 5070 or higher. It could just be just the regular 5070, and it will also come with Borderlands 4. I'm not too sure how long their promotion lasts for, but I can certainly tell you the Intel promotion does last for this week, I believe. Almost like 2 weeks. I think it ends on the 4th or the 5th. I would have to double check. But I do have to say that there has been really interesting news that has come up. I'm not sure if anybody has heard. There was somebody that was actually gaming with a PNY RTX 5090. We're already in August, nearly September, but yet some of these issues still come out. Now, some people may be sketched out about PNY. I am very interested because Best Buy actually does have a awesome deal for a RTX 5080 PNY, and it's for about $899. But maybe it's the reason which I'm going to tell you guys. What had happened? I'm watching on the short, so I can't see everything. Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. I'm glad to hear the short side is working. Thank you for subscribing, Anana. Thank you, Carla, for subscribing. I appreciate it. I'm glad to see you guys have subscribed. I do have to say, PNY does have their promo going on for Best Buy, and it's for $900 for a RTX 5090 USD about, and not the 5090 and 5080, because there has been interesting news about this whole 5090. Somebody was actually using it for more of rendering purposes, or they were using it for 3D modeling, but it was the middle of the night. So while they were in the middle of working, all of the sudden, it seemed that their PC had just powered off. They went to go check it out to see exactly what the problem was, and it seemed that the PC was actually smoking. There was smoke coming out of the rig. He wasn't sure exactly what the reason was. So he ends up walking over to his PC, obviously wants to shut the PC off immediately. He goes over, shuts it off, takes off the side casing to see exactly what the problem is. So he follows the smoke into his PC, he opens it up and sees that there's smoke coming out of the GPU. Go figure. But get this, as you know, if you are into PC gaming, they use the 12 volt high power port. A lot of the new 50 series does use the new the 12 volt high power port, but that wasn't the case. It is a RTX 5090, so it's easy to assume that. But what it turns out was, of course, it is a PNY GPU, and it also had a blown capacitor. So what the capacitor is, it looks like a little tube, kind of like a little tube of metal, and that had blown out. It made a nice little pop sound, so he was wondering why it did that, and that was the exact reason. It was the capacitor of the RTX 5090. So it's in question whether if it was a PNY or was it really NVIDIA's fault on that side. So, Anana, what's up? I am glad you guys have subscribed so far, but isn't that really interesting in that case that we still are running into 5090 issues? There is going to be a update eventually soon when it comes to the whole reiteration of the 50 series. If, as you know, that they will always come out with a super series. Typically, they used to do like a whole TI series. Now they're going into the super side. And with the super side, what they're going to do is they're going to end up pushing it out more than likely for January. And AMD seems like they will have something up their sleeves. But I'm not exactly sure if they're going to be doing something within this year, as we were all hoping that AMD would come out with a competitor for the RTX 5090, because face it, it's just so expensive. And on top of it, it just seems like ongoing issues, just as the issue that I mentioned. And again, we're just about at the end of August, and it seems like some 5090s are continuously having some issues. Oh, I apologize, Anana. But I apologize for that side if you don't understand since you're French. But thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. You can feel free to ask any questions at all. This is a open stream, so you can feel free to ask any questions you would like. Specifically, this stream will be pretty much PC and tech based, so you can feel free to ask questions about that topic if you like, or just ask any questions in general. So I gotta say, definitely an interesting crowd for the most part that has been coming in. And what's a good GPU upgrade from a 2080 Super? That's a great question. Since you're coming from the 2080 Super, are you looking to game more? Or are you looking more to, which are you looking more to do? Are you looking to game, or are you looking to do something more of, say, like creative work? or are you more into 3D flow, or are you more into something like LLMs? Let me know, and I can certainly help you out and figure out what GPU would be great for you. Gaming. So you're into the gaming side. Since you're into the gaming side, I would highly recommend. So are you going to be using it for anything else besides gaming? If you're not, I would highly recommend to give a shot to an RX 9070. I gotta say, it's a great card. You may have doubts, but it's actually really awesome. But the first also concern I do have is, will you be gaming on 4K, or will you be gaming on something more like an ultra-wide monitor, something like this type of setup? So to answer Anana's question, I'm from the US. And the state I'm located in is Florida. Great question. But yeah, let me know. Are you going to be using it for something like a 4K display, or are you looking for something more of a 1440p display, something ultra wide? Now, it all depends on your preference. If it is going to be something that is like ultra wide, definitely go 9070 XT. There's nothing wrong. Definitely one of the best cards that I've tried out for this whole year. I gotta say, it was awesome playing on the 9070 XT. It's been really impressive for the most part. And compared to something like, even compared to a RTX 5070, RTX 5090, of course they got the power, but it just seems that the value and everything that you need gaming wise is inside of RX 9070 XT. And if personally, to me, I would have to say that card would definitely be one of the best cards so far this year. Hopefully that answers your question. And Anna, no, I don't play Roblox. Great question, but yeah, unfortunately, I haven't played Roblox. I know, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that do, though. Let me get this chat linked up. It seems like Big Cease isn't linked into the chat for some reason. Let me get you linked in here. And I gotta say, Big Cease, one question. Are you watching on the horizontal side? It seems like the short feed is definitely coming in really well. Let me just, oh, I see the reason. So odd. Yeah, no problem, no problem at all. I hope that answered your question there. And again, anybody can feel free to ask any questions PC tech related. It seems like some CPU roadmaps had leaked out, so we have some good indications of what is to come out. It seems it's both AMD and Intel, which is very interesting for the most part. They even leaked up to the 300 and the 400 series when it comes to Intel. And I have to pull up the roadmap to see exactly which ones AMD has brought up, but they certainly do have a few. Now, with the AMD rumors wise, good. I'm glad to see your LinkedIn now, Big Cease. What's up, Samuel? Good to see you. Huh. Oh, let me adjust this. You can't see. That's so weird. I noticed when the vertical display, it seems like it kind of cuts off my face a little bit for some weird reason. Okay. But yeah, what's up? What's up, Samuel? Good to see you. I'm going to try to adjust this better here. There we go. Hopefully that helps. Do you have 30 years? Do you? I'm sorry. Can you ask that question one more time? I apologize. I want to answer your question, but I just got to make sure I know what you're asking. And Anna. But good to see you, Samuel. I'm glad to see you in here. Right now, we're just talking about the tech space. We're talking about processors currently. I do want to speak on behalf, besides CPUs, I do want to speak on behalf of the whole AMD rumors. I got to say, is more or so really interesting, especially when it comes to the whole AT0. And what AT0 is a code name practically for a GPU for AMD. And you probably saw that whole 40 gigabyte video card as you clicked onto this live. Some of you may have seen it. And usually I just put that as my normal thumbnail practically for my stream. But anyway, it's kind of based on that actually, which is pretty funny. And we've all wanted it, and we're all hyped up to see if it's going to be possible. But anyway, the whole idea is AT0. The thing with AT0, it's supposed to be the competitor to the RTX, not 5090, but the RTX 6090. And some of you might just roll your eyes and say, well, AMD, it's always rumored that AMD is going to compete against their next successor, but hopefully it's true this time. Hopefully AMD does take the competition a bit more serious. If they do, it'd be quite impressive. It's also rumored that they're going to go off of a 512-bit bus instead, but again, this is just rumors and it's nothing truly substantial. And the odd thing is, the whole naming scheme, again, with AMD is confusing. Even with their code names, AT1 is going to be kind of like more of a 5080 Ti. It's going to compete more with the 5090 or be somewhat more in par with the 5090. And again, these are all rumors until it actually happens. I hope it does. It would be great to see AMD come out with some really, truly beast cards for once. No, it's no problem at all. Are you? That's a good guess. Yes, I am in my 30s. I'm definitely in my 30s. No, it's all good. I do appreciate the questions. I gotta say, it's definitely interesting the crowd that it's certainly bringing in for this week. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying the stream so far. But to see AMD to actually come out with something like that would be certainly nice. I hope AMD does come through with it, because it's kind of they're kind of going off of their what is it? There's the schematic off of almost like their custom made Xbox graphics card, but when it comes to but like another reiteration of it, because it's kind of weird. Again, it's quite confusing. I wouldn't be surprised if the next AMD card that comes out would be named the 1090 series, because of course that would happen. AMD, it would be like AMD AI. What would it be? AMD AI Radeon, probably RX 1090 XT. Do you have a Discord channel I can join? Oh, yeah, for sure. Speaking of which, if anybody's interested in joining the Discord channel, I'm going to share the link. It's also down in the description box down below if you're interested in following it there. Let me pull this up for you guys here. And so that way I can just pull the Discord channel directly for you guys. But hopefully everyone is having a great day so far. Of course, here in Florida, we're getting the nice random thunderstorms. All right. So this is the Discord channel. If anyone wants to follow here. And we also do share photos, videos right there. That should send throughout all the platforms there. And I gotta say, it's pretty interesting to see if the link doesn't work, let me know. Or just, again, it'll be down in the description box down below. I know people on Twitch there. Just certainly, hopefully you guys can click it. I don't think it's a real issue for you guys on Twitch, but more or so on the YouTube side. If you have to, just go down to the description box down below and you'll be able to access it that way. But that is the Discord channel. You can feel free to chat. You can feel free to post pictures. You can show off your rigs if you got a PC build coming. And speaking of PC builds, I was expecting some goodies to come in this week. We were supposed to get some PC hardware. Unfortunately, nothing has come in yet. But this upcoming week, hopefully you guys will be tuned in on Saturday. I will be going 9 a.m. live and 9 a.m. Eastern live. And what we will be doing is we're going to be looking for PC parts with a friend of mine's to really get his PC build ready to go. Sorry, I have to... No, it's okay. I'm just glad you joined in. Thank you for joining in, Anana. Yeah, it doesn't work, but did screen search and copied the link. Just joined. I appreciate it. I'm glad you love the stream. Yeah, it doesn't work, but did screen search and copied the link. Just joined. Thank you for joining. I think I just heard the Discord alert. Welcome, Samuel. I remember Samuel from last time. And let's see. Soon it'll pop up. Soon Samuel will pop up there, and we can give him a proper greeting. But if anybody... Yeah, thank you, and Anna. Make sure to check out the other videos. Recently, we just spoke about this whole Windows update, and it's been quite messy. Actually, it even installed on... if it does install, make sure to uninstall it first of all. If you can't, try a couple of the commands in the last video I have. If you have to recover any information, I do recommend getting Stellar Recovery. Thank you for sponsoring that video that we just recently posted. And make sure you check out their services. They're great. It's also in the description box if you really have to recover data, whether if you lost files, photos, or videos. Certainly check them out. It's great. You wouldn't believe the things that I found. I mean, you could, ever since you get the drive, whenever you got the drive, if you got it in 22, to say, it will be able to find the things from 2022. It's quite impressive. And it's also free to try out. Certainly worth to see what you have on any specific drive, especially if you're looking for anything special. You can certainly find it. But yo, what's up? I'm an Egyptian PC builder. Oh, Egypt in the house. Welcome. I gotta say, well, what kind of PC build do you got going on? And my neck, it's funny. It's like I slept wrong, so it's like sometimes I get it feels a little bit tight if I turn too quick on my left. But I gotta say, what type of PC build do you have? I gotta know. Feel free to share with the chat, because right now it's I gotta say it's been quite interesting with the whole NVIDIA side. Intel is actually coming out with an update with their GPUs. It's been quite a bit, but they are pushing out an update. I'm hoping their whole Battlemage series does become a bit more serious. It would be nice. A lot of the AI GPUs have been already released, like the 9700, which is AMD's version. Intel had their version, their Battlemage version, which is like a big, massive 48 gigabyte card, but really it's just like two GPUs kind of mashed together, so that way it's better for LLM work. Don't use those for gaming, because again, the ray tracing is not going to be impressive. The count's not going to be there. That will certainly disappoint you, and it won't process the graphics as well as you would hope. So right now, so the Egyptian, he says, I built 11 PCs in the last 3 months, but the PC that I have is a 5080 and 9800 X3D. That's awesome. Which GPU do you have? Which brand? I gotta say, it's funny because we were just talking about PNY, and PNY is having a great deal right now at Best Buy. It's actually under $1,000. Finally, the price dropped under $1,000, so you can certainly find it for $899 USD at Best Buy if you want a PNY GPU. But again, just as I mentioned the story a bit earlier about the PNY 5090. If you want to hear it, feel free to let me know in the chat. I will tell you exactly what happened with that card, because it seems like there was a bit of trouble, and that it actually just recently happened within the last day. But ASUS Prime B550MK ARGB. That's a great motherboard, I gotta say. But I'm kind of an OC guy, so I have an $800 motherboard. I got you. That's awesome, though. You got to share that build. Feel free to share it on Discord. We do have a Discord channel. Since it looks like you're on YouTube, go down in the description box. You can join the Discord channel, show your PC, and I can show it live here. I got to say, it's probably quite a beast. There were some really amazing builds throughout Saturday. And if you guys are curious, I usually do my lives on Wednesdays and Saturdays, so feel free to tune in then. Wednesdays, I do it between around, I try to get here at 6 if I can, but I was really hungry, so I'm going to end up doing this stream between 7 and 9 about. I try to do it a lot for you guys out there, especially like you're out in Egypt, so your time zone is definitely going to be like at least 5 hours apart, I gotta say, from where I'm at. So I'm trying to fit in a good time zone for you guys over there in Europe for sure. Close to Europe at least. So ASUS Prime B550MK or ARGB. I sadly don't have Discord. That's a shame. It'd be awesome if you did. It'd be worth signing up for. ASUS. So Samuel has the ASUS. Oh, I got the same motherboard, Egyptian Savage. I actually even reviewed it. You can check that video out if you want. It's a great motherboard. I actually got the 5090 in that in that build actually, but with the almost, I think, pretty much the same processor as you, the 9800X3D. Sometimes I speak a little bit too fast, or think too fast before I speak. But anyway, Samuel says he has the ASUS Prime B550M ARGB, 32 gigabytes of DDR4, 3200 megahertz, 512 gigabyte SSD, Corsair 750 watt, Ryzen 5 5600, but no GPU because it's very costly and got it. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully you have a chance to get a GPU. I know GPUs can be a little bit more expensive, especially in certain areas around the world. Hopefully they end up getting a good price on a GPU over there. Usually I know it's a lot better to get a GPU. Places like Ghana, you can get a chance to look in the secondhand market, but you have to be really careful if you do. It's always good to make sure to test the GPU before you purchase anything if you do go secondhand. Especially when a build like that, you don't want to, it's going to be a lot harder to be able to purchase the matching graphics card for that type of generation. But you can purchase I would say the best purchase for you certainly to get would be around probably like the AMD 6000 series, or I would say even the 30 series from NVIDIA, I think would suit your build the most. Unless you're planning to get like a newer GPU. If you do, I can tell you the 50 series, they do run on PCI Express 5, but again, it doesn't really matter as much because they don't really utilize the full bus speed when it comes to the newer GPUs. You might notice a small decrease of performance wise. Again, you'll more than likely bottleneck if you do purchase anything newer. But it is also a great build, and again, it still can play a ton of games for the most part. Am I celebrating Halloween? Yeah, more than likely. I will certainly be celebrating Halloween. Is that your favorite holiday? I gotta ask, Carla. Got the same problem, man. Talk before I get. Yes, it's like my brain goes like 200 miles per hour, but my mouth can go only like 100. In Egypt, GPUs are expensive, but monitors are very cheap. I can see that. But it's pretty awesome. You could get monitors for cheap. But there's always a trade-off for something. Here in the U.S., I feel like just about everything is pretty much expensive. But again, it all depends on what you're looking for exactly, because it's almost like there's a price range for everything here. So I'm price to performance builder. I build for a lot of people. What's your budget? Exactly. I'm actually not doing a PC build now currently, but we do have somebody building a PC this upcoming Saturday. He's looking to build a Intel build because, again, it's definitely on the lower side of the budget. He's going to go for the 265K, I think. He's also going to get the Micro Center kit. If you're not familiar with Micro Center, very big tech store here in the U.S. He's going to go over to Micro Center on Saturday. We're going to go together and figure out how to piece his PC together. And it looks like he may get everything there if he can. If he can't, then he may have to also go to Best Buy for some parts. Good thing is Micro Center does do some price matching. But so far, all I know for his budget is going to certainly be the 265K build. So a little bit, I see, Carla. I am thinking about the RX 6800 XT 16 gigabytes. Definitely a great option. Still can play a ton of games. I know it's. I know it. We have a Sigma comp in Egypt. It's the same big store for PCs. I would love to check it out. I gotta say, Egypt is certainly one of the places I'm very curious about, for sure. About $250. Just finished national service, so now searching for a job. Oh, awesome. I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for. Hopefully you find the position that you want, so that way you get more cash flow, so you can get the PC that you want, the PC of your dreams, or even just the GPU. I'm sure you're dying to get one now, especially practically have the PC all together. GPU is definitely one of the main components when it comes to, especially if you want to game on a PC. Oh yeah, your dad's a, oh, he is a builder. So your dad's also a PC builder, is it, Carla? That's awesome. What does he also do a lot of custom PC builds? It's funny because I actually just this past week, I think it was on, was it Saturday? No, it was actually last Saturday. That quick. But anyway, we ended up sending out a PC. If you guys are curious, we do sell PCs on this YouTube. We have a website. You can go to chrismizo.com. You can email me if you want a custom PC build. I haven't experimented worldwide yet, so I can't ship worldwide yet. I will be testing that within sometime, probably the end of this year, by the end of this year. But I can say we do ship within the US. So far within the US, we certainly do ship. So for $250, you can get a 7600 XT. It's a 1080p Ultra or a 1440p low GPU. That doesn't sound like a bad deal. Not bad at all. Oh, nice. Does is he also based over here in the US as well, Carla? Samuel says, so the mistake I made is getting a CPU with no integrated graphics, so it's just a paperweight now. Well, I mean, technically, oh, really? Oh, wow. So it's really just, you can't really plug it in at all. That's true, because you have a 5600. Definitely get a GPU for it. You gotta get a GPU at this point. My case is a Lian Li. Oh, I love the Lian Li cases. Oh, the Asia Horse Infinity fans. I know exactly which ones. Those are nice fans, too. It sounds like you got a really nice rig. I'm really curious to see how it looks. It probably looks almost similar to the one I got. You probably could see it in the back a little bit. That build was the 9800 X3D build I did at the end of the year of 24. So you can look that up if you want, and that was the PC build. But I have the Corsair 5000X, which is practically, the Lian Li obviously came first. The 5000X was almost like very similar to the Lian Li version. Tony Mazzola says, what sets your PC brand apart from example ZTT? Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, that's awesome, Carla. I gotta say, it's good to know that there are other PC builders out there. It seems like we got quite a few here. We got Egyptian Savage here, and of course we got your dad that's into PC building. That's awesome. And I gotta say, there are some cases that I gotta say that are pretty interesting that are coming out. I saw that Fractal Design keeps coming out with these really dope, crazy cases. I mean, they came out with some really nice stuff. Corsair does too. But I'm looking, I bet within the next quarter, we're going to see a lot of new things, and definitely got to share that with you guys for sure. Hey, Chris, any website to get RX 7600 XT and shipping to Ghana? That's a great question. I would have to do a bit of research. I will definitely reach you. I will answer your question within Discord once I get more information on that. But I will definitely take note of it. That's a great question, actually. Let me see. Copy text. I'm going to put it in my notes here. So if you guys have any questions I can't answer right away, let me know. And I will save it. And I will put it into my notes if and I'll give you the answer once I get it. So you can get Amazon, but it's like $150 shipping. That's true. I'm new, but oh, thanks, Carla. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's funny because, you know, I have this animation thing and everything too, but it seems like it doesn't work all the time when it comes to animations for some weird reason. But, yeah, hopefully it comes on. Eventually it starts working. For any PC build that you want, a $70 case from the Okinos Aqua 93 is super nice. Yeah, let's take a look at that case, in fact. Let's go ahead and take a look at this Okinos Aqua 93 case here. We're gonna look it up just to give everyone a look of what that exactly is here. And looks just like this. This is what he's talking about here. And I'm just going to switch over to the stream browser. Just give it a moment. And it's funny because over on the vertical side, it sometimes switches. Sometimes I apologize for that, you guys. On the vertical side, I'm going to fix that. There you go. Perfect. All right, there you go. So it looks just like this. It is pretty nice though. That's how it looks. So let's go onto Amazon here. So it does have that whole, it does really kind of remind you of a Lian Li case almost. My dad made PC for the high school. Oh, really? What kind of a PC did he make? Do you know the specifications? I know you're probably not too familiar. You might not be familiar. You might be familiar. I could be wrong. That's the Aqua 9, not 93. Oh, good point. That is the Aqua 9. It's funny because I put the 93. Aqua 93. No, we don't want this. Look what's come up. It came up as water. The 93 is cheaper. Okay. Well, we'll certainly find it. Here it is. I found it. Right here. So this is it. This says 93 here. Up here on the top, it says custom. Just to share with you guys. 93. Right there. That's the Aqua 93. It's still a really nice case, though. My only concern... So, I gotta ask. What's your... Do you know how the... So, Egyptian, do you know how the airflow is with this case? Because... sometimes I'm concerned about some of these cases because the airflow might not be enough because it's so closed in. So I worry about the airflow in some of them. But yeah, this is it. I want to get more pictures up here of it. Let's take a look. Oh. We don't need this. We don't need this. And here's their shop here. Right there. Perfect. So this boasts a visual masterpiece, panoramic 3-side. It is really nice. So I wonder, so how much is this? So if the other case was about, what was it, 93 you said? Well, that's what the case brand is. From the picture, it seems like all fans are exhaust. Yeah, it certainly does. See, the good thing is you do know it does have some airflow practically. Maybe this is their intake right here, I would assume. On the intake side right there. And then the back would be the exhaust, I would have to assume. So, they say one at the bottom is intake. And the 2 AIO intake and the one of the AIO fans at the top is out, and the top one is so that 3 intake, 2 out. That makes more sense. Because usually when you want to build a PC, you kind of want a more like a 3-2 ratio. It's better to have more intake coming in than actually exhaust. So you, even if it's like a weird even number, like say if it's like 3-3, usually it's not really good. Then you create negative pressure inside of the case. So it's good to always have more intake fans, even if you have like say 4 intake and 2 exhaust. That's actually fine too. That works as well. But that is a good point you brought up, and it is a very interesting design. I just wish that we could zoom in on it. But that was an excellent case you certainly brought up. And I do have to say, I do want to share Fractional Design's case because it is really nice. It's crazy how expensive some of these cases are now, though. I got to say, for the most part. But again, anybody that's coming in and thinking about doing a PC build, feel free to comment and feel free to state what your idea of the PC build is. I have to ask anybody here. Yes, of course, you definitely the most important part of the setup, Carla. I do have to say though, if anybody here has had any experience with Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, I gotta know what your thoughts are because I'm hearing very mixed things about it. I've heard some crazy things like how it's performs better on the standard PS5 than the PS5 Pro, which is pretty insane. I heard that even the 5090 struggles with Snake Eater, which is pretty insane. And this is with somebody with a 9800 X3D as well. Kind of a pretty similar build as mine's and Egyptian's build there. But I'm very curious to see how well that game does perform because it's pretty crazy to hear stutter on a game like that. So let's check out Discord here. Oh, okay. The German Grenader, welcome. Thank you for joining at Discord here. Oh, and speaking of shipping PCs, what I've done so far, I shipped a few PCs out. Seems like everything has been well so far, all on the East Coast side of the US. And it seems like, so from what I know so far, from the packing and everything, it seems that it's safe and sound. And that's nothing got dismantled or destroyed. But of course, never underestimate the power of destruction when it comes to shipping. So if anybody out there does ever plan to ship a PC, certainly pack it very tight, like well tight, and make sure not only just to send out a single box, but double box that PC because otherwise you're certainly going to be in the very high risk side of damage. I've been through that side before, and it is just quite terrible when that does happen. Nearly everything is unsalvageable at that point. But I gotta say, yeah, certainly when you ship out a PC, make sure everything is locked in tight. Make sure to at least double box it. You want to make sure to stabilize the GPU most importantly, or if you do have somebody that has some technical knowledge of PC builds or knows who isn't afraid to put in a GPU, it's sometimes best to ship out the GPU separate if you could. Do you do international shipping like say GPU? I don't just ship out PC parts. Maybe I would love to do something like that maybe in the future, but currently I gotta say right now we just do PC builds, and I will experiment a bit more with shipping internationally with PCs and see what type of result I get before I actually do it, because I want to make sure the PCs actually arrive there safely and most importantly gets through customs, because I know some countries it's a bit harder to go through customs with certain type of with PCs. Like I know in Brazil it'll probably be a little bit more tough. So I gotta kind of figure that side out of it first. And if I do, I wouldn't mind sending out PCs wherever I can, for at least. But if there's any exceptions, I will certainly note it and let you guys know. And of course, I would let you guys know immediately in the first place before it happens. But if you guys are interested in PC builds, feel free to send a contact form in my on my website, which I will send. The best way is to get a PC is to save. Certainly, that is certainly the best way to get a PC. if you're not afraid to, if you're not afraid to build a PC and you really want to build one, just get a component at each time. Meaning, you can start off with trying to get the more expensive part just to get it out the way. You want to get the GPU, just say, and once you get the GPU, then you know you only have about 8 other components to get. And that's another way to do it too, if you're not the type to save very well, just say. But certainly save for a PC if you can. If you can't, just try to get PC parts at least like every other month or something, or have some sort of plan and of action to do it. And that would certainly be the best advice. And certainly the best thing you can do is build a PC, because once you have a PC, it's going to be a completely different experience than having, just say, a console, because you have a lot more flexibility and you won't be limited to the company. For example, I can just say Sony, for example. You won't be limited to Sony's limits. You can be practically limitless to what you want to do with your build. So, exactly. You said it best, Carla. That is right. Definitely save for a PC if you can. But anyway, if you do go with a PC part and you want to start with a PC build, the best part to aim for, especially if you're looking to game or if you're looking to do any type of like, just say if you're into like GPU rendering or anything like that, or maybe AI modules, go for the GPU first. And then that kind of will shape your idea of where you want to go next on your build. That will give you an idea of what type of motherboard that might get and what type of CPU you want to get. Now, if you're looking to do it more for video editing or photo editing or things of that nature, then you can start with the motherboard and CPU, because that's going to be the more integral part for it than the actual GPU. Now, of course, they can use each other, but when it comes to more of that side, it is more CPU heavy than video card heavy. So again, it all depends on what you're looking for on your PC build and what type of display you're looking for. There's a lot of different factors that do come into it, but it's also a great experience to give it a shot if you can. So yeah, it took me over 4 years to get some of the PC parts I have now. Sometimes I work for people and get paid in PC parts. That's something though. At least it sounds like you have your PC just about all together. All you need is just the GPU. And you're pretty much all good, Samuel. So PC or YouTubers' specialty when they play games mostly. That is true. The good thing about PCs, I gotta say, for the most part, is that if you want to be able to do something like stream and you're into that kind of and you want to try that out, a PC is certainly the way to go. It's a lot easier to stream on a PC compared to just say a console. You certainly can. And of course you could stream on a console, but at least if you stream on a PC, you can. It's again more boundless, and you're not limited to the console's mercy, so to say. So, but that is a great topic that was brought up. Also, for anybody that is interested in getting GPUs, again, PNY has a great sale going on. And if you get anything that's over a 5070, I do have to say that you can get Borderlands 4. And the crazy part is, it's funny, I had no idea Borderlands, now I can't even speak. Borderlands 4 is out. So that is completely out. So is Metal Gear Solid is also released. But again, I've heard mixed things. If you played it, feel free to let me know. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Again, I've heard very mixed things about it, if it's really worth getting or not. So anyway, PNY has their GPU, their RTX 5080 for sale. And I'm sure Amazon has quite a few different listings as well when it comes to their sale. I know Newegg does. So prepare for a Labor Day sale for certain. And I will definitely put it down in the links when I can, or feel free to ask questions if you have If you are afraid to mention it in stream, which of course you don't have to be, but if you are nervous about mentioning anything in stream, feel free to contact the Discord channel as well. If you're watching on YouTube, the description box is down in the description box as well. And if you are on Twitch, I will post up the link again. Hopefully it posts. It may not. It may. I know on Twitch it will, but I know on YouTube it's kind of finicky about that. So let me post it real quick, guys. And it is right here. That is the link. Hopefully it posts on YouTube. So let's go on to our favorite site here. And I got to share the roadmap. This is all on video cards here. And I got to say it's most interesting so far because of what is going to be released. Here, let me switch over you vertical viewers out there. I don't know how this happened. It somehow got dislinked with everything here. There we go. There you go, guys. Now let me link. Okay, there we go. Perfect. And my Twitch link. Sure, I can share my Twitch, guys. My Twitch is right. Let me get to my channel here, and it is right here. Also, here's also my website. Sorry if it looks kind of spammy, but this is all my links practically on the website. But over here on videocards.com, they mentioned the whole roadmap, which is quite interesting for the most part. And again, it almost seems purposely that this is being leaked out. Again, they're either what this article mentions is practically if the partners were unaware of their being, they're not supposed to disclose this kind of information practically, but they leaked it out. So sometimes these leaks seem to be a setup, but again, it's hard to say because it does mention both AMD and Intel's roadmap here. I appreciate it, PacMac. Where is my freaking... It's so funny because it's like I want these little alerts to come up and they never do. I don't know why. I appreciate it. Good to see you. So Samuel is Pac-Man. Welcome, Pac-Man. All right. So Samuel, welcome in. Would you prefer Pac-Man or Samuel? I gotta say. But let's so this roadmap, it's mentioning that Panther Lake is planned for Q2 of 2026, which is no surprise. We kind of expected that because 18A is supposed to be released, and they're on Intel's focus now is going to be 15A. So I'm not surprised that they're saying Panther Lake is going to be released next year. Almost seems like it's on schedule. What I'm more curious about is what Intel will release this year. From what it seems like, it's going to be a refresher of what's going to be on the Z890 boards. And but we'll see. Maybe it's going to be something completely different, which let's get into and really find out here. Oh, that's okay, Carla. I'm just glad you joined in. Again, if anybody has just joined the channel, we talk about PC and tech. If you're thinking about doing a PC build, feel free to ask questions or ask me anything that you'd like, and I will certainly answer you guys. But I do appreciate you coming in, Carla. Feel free again to also join the Discord if you'd like, and the channel. So Nova Lake, which is unsurprisingly is the Core Ultra 400 series, of course, and the Arrow Lake refresh would be the 300 series as expected. So it seems like that is the case. It seems like the 300 series is going to remain the same for the most part. It is going to be some sort of refresh, but I am curious about performance-wise, how does it compare to the 200 series? So what are your guys' expectations of Intel's processors coming up when they announce it in September? Do you expect that Intel will improve vastly when they come out with the 300 series, or is it just going to be a very slight increase in your personal opinion? I have to ask. So feel free to answer that question. I would love to hear what you guys think. But Nova Lake is scheduled for Q2 of 2027. And that's going to be practically the 500 series. It seems that the roadmap is less detailed. Again, it'd be nice to zoom in on it. It seems like Momo US, which is going to be on Twitter. I'll get there first, so that way we can try to zoom in on this roadmap to get a better look to see what is shared. Now, I do have to say, for everybody out there who has an AMD build, I know some of you are probably looking forward to getting the Ryzen 10,000. It's going to be very interesting once they announce it. I'm curious how the naming scheme is going to be for it. And you don't have to worry if you're on an X670E board or a B650 or the 850, or you pretty much get the drift. Practically being on the whole AM5 series side, because that they will still continue on AM5. They're not going to let go of that side of the production, that they will continue to make new processors at least until, so it's 2025 now. More than likely they'll release in 26. So if they do come out with a new whole AM6, once eventually that comes out, don't expect it till probably 27 or even late 26, maybe late 26 at the earliest, but I see it more into 27. So don't worry, your motherboard has plenty of life, especially if you're still on the Ryzen 7000 series. It feels like yesterday that was released, but they are certainly going to release the Ryzen 10,000 and your board will be certainly compatible. Just make sure to update the BIOS. That is the most important part, especially if you are planning to upgrade your CPU. Now, I do have to say, AMD, when they came out with their 9950X3D, which was a very highly anticipated processor when they did release it, was one of their best silicone chips, I gotta say, because they saved all their best silicone chips. I can't imagine how this Ryzen 10,000 series is going to be, because it was quite insane what the quality number was. I can't remember quite off the top of my head what it was, but the majority of those who had the 9950X3D will experience very good performance out of it, and that most people don't have to worry about the silicone lottery, that more than likely your processor is going to be one of the top ones out there, because there's a grading system on the BIOS when you check it out. And if you check that grading system, that will let you know exactly how good your processor, your silicone for your processor is. And when it is that good, it's much more easier to be able to do some overclocking if you'd like. But I really wish AMD made a 9090 XTX. I think I would really love that too. It's funny because we were talking about this for the longest, I feel like, and it almost seems like that they're going to be waiting for not RDNA 4, but it seems, or more or so, that it's going to happen with RDNA 5. But again, with the rumor side, it seems that they do have some code names that they are secretly working on these cards. Again, that they're creating a 6090 competitor that's supposed to be at least as competitive, or at least 50% better than the RTX 6090. But it's really hard to see that actually happen. It sounds like a wonderful dream for AMD to actually compete even against the upcoming 6090 eventually when they release it. But hopefully it's true. We'll see how true that rumor is. And they're also apparently working on a GPU that's going to be competitive against the 5090. But again, it's just all rumors for now. They also do mention that NVIDIA is working on their APU, which is something that is quite interesting, I gotta say, for the most part, especially because it has over 6,000 CUs, I think, for it. But not CUs, is it? Trying to think of the right term for it. But I have the 5080, but if AMD makes a high-end GPU, I'll upgrade because I play Call of Duty, and Call of Duty is super. I agree. It is very optimized for AMD. Even if you run the NVIDIA test, if anybody out there has ran the different benchmarks when it comes to NVIDIA, and on something like Call of Duty Black Ops 6, you will, if you look at the specifications at the end, even though if you set your specifications to DLSS, just say that at the end, or DLAA, whichever you use, when you get to the end of the benchmark, you'll actually see it say it's going through FX fidelity, which is ironic because, again, Black Ops was very optimized for AMD for that side. But I am really curious to see how this whole engine is going to be when it comes with when Battlefield 6. Now, everybody in here, I have to ask you guys: the 9070 XT beats the 5080 in the Call of Duty, and the 7900 XTX is 6 FPS less than. Oh wow, that is interesting statistic. That is insane. That's not that far off, I gotta say. The 7900 XTX is 6 FPS less than the 5090. Now that is very interesting that Egyptian brought that up. It is true. If AMD has been great, I gotta say. Like anytime when it comes to their software, recently, I gotta say, for recent days, it seems that their updates have been phenomenal. No real issues, nothing buggy, which is really nice. A nice taste of a nice difference, I gotta say, for the most part. Also, when it comes to even just optimizing the card, or even trying to, if you're going to do some undervolting or do some overclocking, it's very easy to do because it's practically all in one with AMD's Adrenalin software now. But I do have to say, if AMD does come out with a decent card, it would be really nice. And I hate the 12 volt high power. It's funny too because it's like anytime that gets installed, it doesn't matter what PC it is. Anytime that gets installed, that installing that 12 volt high power port, it's almost like you over install that port because you're worried that there's going to be some sort of gap or some sort of resistance that's created to where you're going to cause a melting port. Luckily, knock on wood, I have not run into the issue to where the 12 volt high power port had melted, but I gotta say it is a very sketchy port. It is sketchy, but for the most part, on the AMD side though, I can say at the least I have not really heard of any issues. There was one guy that actually ran into the yeah, pretty much for the most part. It's only one guy so far. He bought a cheap power supply. It wasn't. It was some sort of weird brand. I forget what it was. And it's funny because we were talking about this on the other stream the other day, which is you don't want to buy a power supply off of something like Alibaba.com, or you don't want to buy a cheap power supply off of Temu or anything like that, because you will get the result of that power supply. But anyway, he got this cheap power supply. It was rated for 600 or 700 watts. It was rated for his system practically. That's what it claimed to be. But as soon as he was putting some power to it, it seemed that it shorted out the GPU. And again, I feel that it wasn't the 12 volt high power port that time, but it didn't melt that connection. I think this was more PSU related than the 12 volt high power port, because this is like the only case I know of where this was AMD related, melted 12 volt high power port, which was he had the what was it? It wasn't Sapphires. It was ASUS GPU, their RX 9070 XT. I think it was it the white one? But that card practically was okay for the most part, but just the port and the 12 volt high power port on that side had melted. So Zotac 50 cards won't turn on if the 12 volt high power port isn't 100% in. True. There's a couple cards that they've been trying to implement better ways of installing it. I do like MSI's idea of using a yellow 12 volt high power port so you can ensure a full connection. But then again, we've seen in time where people are sure that they installed this connector, but still somehow shorts out. But I do like the idea of Zotac doing that. I know ASUS does the same thing with their 5090 as well when it comes to their Astral. Yep, that has happened a lot. Which company introduced? Yes, that was MSI that introduced the yellow connectors. Now, some of the other companies are starting to try to do the same thing as well. Yes, it was the 9070 XT. Let me show you a picture of it to show you what that port looks like, and you can just judge for yourself to see what you guys think. Let's see. Let's find that article. I'm sure. Here we go. How about we just go ready here? So this happened about 5 days ago. So this was the port here. It was on Tech Power Up. And I will share with you guys what it looked like here. It won't let me move it. All right, give me a moment. I'll adjust it. There we go. That's it. So for your vertical guys, just give me a moment. For some reason, it's kind of finicky with the vertical right there. So that's what it looks like. So I heard that there's sensors built in for some 12 volt high power ports, connectors now to detect overcurrent for individual pins. That would make sense, or at least some resistance, because again, if it's not fully seated, I can see resistance being an issue too, because it's practically arcing at that point. But let me see. So right here, they say, let's see what they say here. Maybe they'll mention the brand. But I know it was a very cheap power supply. He even said it himself. The issue only seemed to have affected the cable on the GPU side. Okay. So it wasn't the power supply, it was the GPU side. The GPU seemed had to survive for now. But he did use the harness though. I wish I had another picture of it. But he did end up using the harness of it, of the supplied video card, in order to install this, because that's what it was. His power supply didn't have a 12 volt high power port connection, so he used the harness with the PCI Express. But that was the case of this card. And where was it? He does mention. Let's see. Maybe he'll mention it here. Oh, here we go. Oh no, this is a whole different meltdown. This one's from the typical 12 volt high power port. This is when you know that there is an issue with either the cable or the power supply. This was happening very early on too, when this issue was happening too. Why don't they just state that 4x8 pin cables for GPUs that is like 600 watts, like the 16 pins? I know. They really do. They got to really kind of modify it. I feel like once we start seeing the Super Series, once we start seeing the Super Series of the 50 series, we're going to start seeing more than just one 12 volt high power port connection. It's going to be actually two. The funny thing is, Gigabyte electrical engineers mentioned this, and it wasn't the same ones. This was from a while ago, but they were doing research on this on the lab, and they were saying the maximum current or the maximum wattage that should be really going through something like this is 325 watts. So technically, even if you look at the 4090, like the RTX 4090, that's still being overdrawn of power. It's still too much power, even on the 4090. So they recommended that 325 watts is the limit, and then from there, then you would have to put, say, another port to kind of balance it out. But instead, we still have this single 12 volt high power port. So it seems that they are pretty confident about it. I don't know why, but they're going to have to reiterate this. I wouldn't be surprised once the 50 series comes out, and for some reason, just say that they don't decide to modify or change out this port or make a different version of it. At least we're more than likely going to hear more issues happen. But I'm excited for the Bolt GPU. Absolutely. And you know what's getting big right now too? It seems that they're going with a lot more of the BTF boards, which are the back connections. Instead of having everything connected through the front, like your ATX connection or your CPU connection or anything like that for your power supply, everything will go to the back. The only thing is you will also have to get a case to be able to fit those fit the power supply, and to fit those connections properly into your PC, but it would give you a very nice clean look. So I do agree that they should just go with, it's funny because it's almost like they wanted to make it easier for, I guess, everybody else to install a GPU. That's why they didn't do the whole 4x8. I guess they feel that maybe they feel it's too many on one wire. Maybe it's too many wires. So they feel, let's just come out with the 12-volt high power port. So they came out with this idea. But instead, now they ended up they're going to end up changing it out. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. But the BTF designs look nice. MSI has their version, which is Project Zero. And Gigabyte has their version of like the connectors where you can plug in through the back. Now, I'll show you. So, for example, let's take a look at the Z. We'll just look at the Z890 because I know they have the BTF boards here, but they look something like this. So, for example, I'm going to switch over to the stream side here. Not stream side, but the browser side. Man, I just wish these would link up right. But anyway, it looks like this. Let me see if I can get it bigger here. I'm trying to get this bigger. And it's kind of dark looking, right? Essential cookies. That's it. All right, so we're going to take a look. There we go. That's a better picture. So it looks something like this, right? You have your CPU connection up on the top. So, but I don't know why Bold did that, to say that the GPUs are gaming, so why 256 gigabytes? I agree. I know what you meant, Egyptian. Yeah, it's kind of odd, right? I do agree. But, for example, this Z890 Hero, they got these back connections, which are pretty dope. I would love to do a build like this, like in somewhere in the near future. Currently, I do have a build idea that's currently coming up on the channel. We're doing Project Ninja, just waiting for all these parts to come in. But it seems like it's just been crazy. Of course, just waiting on the brands, and once the brands do their magic, then we can do this Project Ninja. And if you're wondering what Project Ninja is, it's going to be practically a stealth PC build. It's not going to have any RGBs in it. It's going to be practically blacked out. It's going to look dope. And I can't wait to build it with you guys. So I'm still deciding whether if it's going to be a stream build or if we're going to go ahead and just do a video instead. But I'll let you guys decide on that. Feel free to make your vote count in Discord and let me know what you think. But that is Project Ninja. Some of the components were supposed to come in this week. Hopefully they still are. If not, I will have to reach out and see what's going on. But again, Project Ninja is in the works currently, at least. So even a iRender GPU has 96 gigabytes. So let's take a look here. We look at this back of this board. Right here has the ATX connection, which is nice. And then here you have your USB 3.0 connection, your SATA ports even. And here you got your regular connectors. Let's zoom in real quick. And meaning everything. I mean, everything is on the back of the board instead. So it makes it a bit easier to connect, I gotta say. I know it's not the clearest photo that they have because I zoomed in so far, but I gotta say, for the most part, it does make it a bit easier for anyone who wants to do a PC build and doesn't want all the wires kind of sticking out into the side of their PC. So if If anybody out there has any questions, feel free to ask. Would love to hear what your thoughts are. What's up, YMOS? Good to see you here. Yes, I see you. So we're looking at the ROG Maximus Z890 Hero. It's a BTF board. It's a this is their Intel board. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have it as well on the X870E. But what this is the back of the motherboard. And instead of having all the connectors as we're used to up here in the front, let's see. Let's get to the front of the board just to show you. This is how typically the front of the board will look, of their board at least, for the BTF side. But it's good to see you, champ, I gotta say. If you look on the front board on this side, it seems that there is no connection at all. Like, you don't even see any fan connectors, nothing. So you just get a really nice clean look if you decide to do a PC build with a BTF board such as this. And then on the back side is where you actually have all your connections. So when you take a look at the back here, you see your ATX connector, you see your USB 3.0, you see that it has your SATA ports. So it is really nice to be able to connect this way and have a really nice clean look. I remember, champ, you said that you're very careful when it comes to your wires here, and I would imagine it would be pretty tight in there. So, bro, one guy ordered a PC from me, and he said he really wants the SSUPD XU, but it doesn't sell in Egypt. So shipping is $320. So my friend is coming from the US, and he can get that case. That would be nice. Any bottleneck? For this motherboard, no. I wouldn't expect any type of bottleneck. This is more of an overclocking board, unless you purposely want to bottleneck it. I don't know anyone that would purposely want to do that. I don't think airport security would say no to that. Now, the reason why I would say airport security wouldn't say no is because most of the time what they are looking for is going to be food. Things that can cause us like diseases and everything. That's what they worry about a bit more in airport security, and of course any type of threatening items. But it's funny because when I actually got back from Taiwan like what was it, almost like a couple weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, and I actually went through the whole security side. And because I carried my camera, I carried a bunch of stuff in my bag. It's like practically all electronics in it, just like laptops, cameras, and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, as I was going through the security side, we were kind of overpacked in the luggage. So we had to pull out some of this stuff out the luggage to kind of get the bag to weigh right. And then I was able to bring my carry-on onto the flight. But when I got the carry-on through the x-ray machine, they flagged it because everything was electronic in there. But I never had that real issue in the first place anyway before. But because of what I was telling you about the overpacked luggage, they ended up opening up the top zipper. All these electronic stuff came out. And the security guy was explaining to me, if everything is packed up onto the top the way it is, it makes it seem like it is some sort of something crazy, like a bomb or something, because everything was all packed in through the top of the book bag. So they had to end up taking out all that electronic stuff that I had in that bag, everything out, and they scanned it all one by one in the conveyor, and then I was good to go. But for the most part, as long as if it isn't crazy packed like how I did it, then you should be good to go. And you shouldn't have an issue with that. What about AIO? Yeah, AIO, that's a good one. Because the thing about AIOs, obviously, they hold liquid in them. And the thing is, it depends. If you're carrying it onto the plane, then yes, they will certainly say something. If you put it into your luggage, more than likely it's going to be fine. I wouldn't worry about the luggage side. But if you do put it on a carry-on, I could see them saying, no, you can't put that on a carry-on because it's going to carry too much fluid. Unless you prove that it's under a certain amount of ounces, which is whichever, well, he's flying from the US over there, so whatever the limit is, I believe it's, what is it, like 3.2, no, it's 2.3, I think it is. I forget what the exact limit is, but if it has more liquid in the AIO than that, they're just going to say you have to get rid of it, which would suck. But I think you should be good on that side. I'm curious to see. Let me check the fluid ounces again. What is the carry on? I will give them a full bag to put the stuff in and not a carry. Okay. So if that's the case, then you should be good. 3.4 ounces is the limit, which is 100 milliliters. So if you were to bring that, it just can't be over that amount on a carry-on. But since you're giving them a full bag, more than likely you will not have that issue. But I do have to say, hopefully you get all that stuff back safely. I gotta ask, where is he visiting in the U.S. for the most part? Because the best place to there's a few places he can certainly go shopping at, if that's his main objective, anyways, to go shopping. But of course, as I mentioned, Micro Center is certainly the place to go when it comes to your PC parts, I gotta say. Let's see. Just checking here. Just checking my chat real quick. Apologize for that. One time I got a full ITX PC to carry on. Oh, really? That must have been awesome. How did it go, though? I gotta say, for the most part, because when it comes to carrying something like a PC on the airport, I would be always concerned about how they would handle it. So with the full ITX, did you put it in through the luggage, or did you actually, were you able to carry it onto the plane? I gotta say, because I would be always worried about how it was treated, and by the time it got to the location, because of the extreme temperatures of the airplane as well, and how they would just throw all the luggage on top of it. Oh, that's what I would be worried about. It was air cooled, so no water. That makes it a bit lighter, though. At least the I'm sure it got through okay. But was it okay? I gotta say, did it make it through okay? Because that is one of my main concerns. I always thought about that, like if I was able to take a PC in person and was able to just drop it off, at least in a safe location, how well that would go. Because sometimes, again, like when it comes to carriers, when they ship your items such as a PC, you would worry about something like that. You would worry that they wouldn't ship it out correctly. And again, I've seen cases of it. I got to pull up those pictures. Like I've seen quite a bit of damage from. Doesn't matter from where. It doesn't matter from UPS, or actually we can even Google it. I'm sure there's going to be some nasty photos of it. But I'll show you exactly what I mean. UPS ships. Let's see. I gotta see. We want to see photos here. There we go. So here's a perfect example. So I'm going to share this with you guys. So, for example, they shipped the PC, right? And this came from UPS. Imagine this was your PC, and it came just like this. Look at the glass. Bro, because if I buy all the fans in AIO and PC, it's $500. If my friend takes it in this flight, and if I ship it, it's $978. That's what I mean. Like, sometimes it would be cheaper just to send it in person. Look at that substantial amount of damage. The glass is completely gone out the side. Exactly. The glass is completely gone out the side of the case. It's completely shattered. Obviously, it's tempered glass. And now you can see they obviously sat it all different directions here. The GPU, where is it? It's not even there. He obviously probably tried to save it, but I guarantee you those gold fingers were probably bent for the most part. It's a sad situation. Just imagine you were to ship your PC and it came out looking like this. This is something that I want to try to avoid, especially if I'm trying to send something worldwide. And any PC builder can agree to that. You want to send the PC out, you don't want the end result looking like something like this, because this is just sad. And it's a shame. So this guy says, I paid a ton of extra for them to pack it with bubble wrap and so he didn't even wrap it himself. He had UPS do it. He had UPS to pack it with bubble wrap and anti-static material. And so they put this inflatable wrap, and then they clearly did not work nowhere close to where it was supposed to be working. It looks like they barely packed it, to be honest. I mean, look at it. It looks like just one single box they threw it in and then prayed. They probably didn't even pray, but they just said, hey, let's hope it gets there safely. Because look, it's just one single box. And they didn't even really pack it correctly. So if you get a PC sent, definitely get it sent by somebody reputable. As, again, when it comes, if I ship out a PC, again, I currently only ship within the US and to Canada. I know the PC will 100% arrive safely. So far with the test I've done, it seems everything is all good to go. You don't want your PC to end up looking like this, for sure. Because, again, they just threw a single box. They threw this inflatable plastic in there, hoping that it's safe from any type of damage. And I don't even know if it's usable anymore, to be honest, at this point. It's pretty much a fire hazard at that point. So let's get back here. And let's take a look at some other ones here, because it's a shame. And let me see. Here goes. All these warnings of UPS. Here goes. I got to share one more with you guys. So here goes another one here. Another PC that was shipped, right? And look, it looks like it landed like, what was it? Like, you can see the top. It was obviously landed on the top. This is a Corsair 5000X case, actually. I recognize this case. And again, shattered glass on the side, which sucks. The GPU is completely gone. I don't know what happened to these GPUs. Of course, if the glass is gone, the GPU is definitely not going to make it. At that point, you practically got to rebuild a whole new PC. And again, just if anyone ever thinks about moving or shipping a PC, just be very careful, because you don't want the result to look like that. And you even see, like, you can even see the story here. Just wanted to post a warning. Anyone that ships this PC, do not do it through a UPS. Honestly, he did the paid for pack and ship. So if you're going to pack a PC, definitely pack it yourself. Don't pay UPS to do it, because it's going to end up like this. And it arrived 5 days later, just like this, inadequately packed, despite having insurance providing ill-needed documentation, and remained in contact with UPS. It's been a month and the claim has been filed and still not resolved. Currently been 11 days since the repair shop sent them the letter verifying it was broken. They have not even looked at it yet. Haven't used FedEx, but UPS set the bar low. So, going back to the question side, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. So certainly, the thing is, I can't really blame the provider for it. Sure, you paid for shipping, but you can't assume they know what they're doing when it comes to packing. They think they packed it well, but they thought they packed it well. But the thing is, when it comes to PC components, they're very sensitive, especially for even everything that's inside of it. Just imagine your video card inside of your PC. If it's being thrown around with nothing in there, it's definitely going to get tossed around, or it's going to sway or even break off inside of the PC. So you want to make sure to at least pack your PC inside and out very well, and don't just send it into just one box. Send it in multiple boxes, because the first box will most certainly sustain some serious damage. And I highly recommend, if you are shipping double box, make sure to use a double corrugated box, or a double corrugated box, because if you use a single corrugated, I guarantee you it's going to rip right through that. And shrink wrap it too, because you can't forget, if you are in an area where there's rain or there's snow, and it can certainly devastate the PC as well if it sits out in the rain. So you don't want that to happen either. So to go back on topic, instead of talking about the whole shipping part, let's talk about more about what's going on with the PC components side. Now, we can expect that there's going to be more processors to be released. There's going to be an Arrow Lake refresh, and that there's going to be a new, there's going to be some sort of video card announcement. We can certainly expect it within about November. There's going to be a PC build on this channel coming up very soon. We're just waiting on the components for it. Everybody that's just coming in, if you're curious what we're talking about PC and tech. If you're thinking about building PC, feel free to ask any questions you would like. And also, if you are thinking about purchasing any parts as well, like when it comes to PC components, if you're curious if you want an AMD build or if you want an Intel build, you can also ask those questions as well. Now, for the most part, we can expect Intel Arrow Lake refresh to be released very soon, within a couple months. They are currently having a great sale on the 200 series. If you are in a rush to build a PC, especially if you're trying to get something for Battlefield 6. Now, Battlefield 6 is going to be quite the addition, especially for Intel, because I know this is a great selling point to get Intel to get rid of their 265Ks and 285Ks. Or you can even purchase an Intel graphics card, and you can certainly get the game as well. I know currently NVIDIA is doing their promo. If you purchase an NVIDIA card that's over the 5070, you can get Borderlands 4. And the funny thing is, I've never played any Borderlands game. I'm just curious how it is. I hear mixed things about it. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Same thing with the new Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. I'm hearing mixed things about that too. And it's, you know what's really interesting, I gotta say, when it comes to the Call of Duty side, because of this whole Battlefield 6 getting released, they're saying that they want to completely change their identity. Or not really completely change their identity, but maybe even revert back to the old one. And this was actually officially announced. This was actually brought up in Discord, which was a very interesting topic, I gotta say, for the most part, and which I would love to share with you guys, because Call of Duty wants to return back to their old ways. They want to turn back into Black Ops 2 practically. They said that Black Ops 6, that you are unable to carry your skins over from Black Ops 6 over to Black Ops 7. But Warzone's unaffected. And there's also certain things you can't carry over from Battlefield 6, but you can carry over your tokens, and you can also carry over, your tokens, and you can carry over, let me bring up that thing that they mentioned on Discord here anyway. But for the most part, I will share with you once I pull that up. Let's see. It's right here on the general side. And right there. So, let me share Discord with you guys here. Discord. Oh yeah, at least that worked automatically. Usually the vertical doesn't want to match up. But anyway, first off, thank you for Call of Duty has always been fueled by the community, right? So every match, every clip, every feedback, you shape this franchise right along us. So I apologize for the vertical viewers. I know it's probably a bit massive. But I'll try to scroll for you guys so you guys can see. But we know that there's been a lot of conversation recently about the identity of Call of Duty. Some of you have said we drifted in the first place. Immersive, intense, visceral, and in many ways grounded. That feedback hits home, and we take it seriously. So it gets funnier. Get this. So next part of the slide here. Carry forward updates. Operators, operator skins, and weapons from Black Ops 6 will not carry into Black Ops 7. Double XP tokens and gobble gums will carry forward. This applies only to Black Ops 7. Warzone is unaffected, and all Black Ops 6 content remains usable there. And Black Ops 7 bundles and items will be crafted to fit the Black Ops identity. And last portion of the slide here. So, right here, it says that fighting cheaters with Ricochet anti-cheat. Starting November 14th, sounds like they've never started in the first place when they say something like that. PC players will need to enable Secure Boot and TPM 2.0 on PC. So they are also pulling the same move as Battlefield. So you have to have TPM 2.0 on PC in order to play it. Which is, the funny thing is it's causing a big surge in people building new PCs because of TPM 2.0. But new detection and mitigation systems will also roll out, but built to kick cheaters earlier. So that's just telling you flat out then and there, like, oh, we never really cared about the cheaters. We cared about your dollars, but we didn't care about the cheaters. But again, visit Call of Duty blog for more information. So what is your guys' thoughts of that? Especially this kind of will make people want to build another PC because of a TPM 2.0. It's going to be a thing now. Especially this from going forward from 2025 and 2026, you can expect more PCs to be built. And for those who are thinking of building a PC, you can expect more hardware to be released. Again, Intel will have their 300 series more than likely in October. We can expect more of it. It's probably going to be like the 365 and the 385K, and it will still be compatible with the Z890 board. Now, if they do a new motherboard design, it's going to be similar to what they did with the Z790, if you remember. Instead of the Z790, they would have the Z790, the Z790 Max. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did something similar to the Z890 and come out with like a Z890 Max, just so to say. But either way, whether you have the Z890 already, you're still going to have a compatible motherboard to upgrade your processor if you'd like. But more than likely, this will be the last generation for the Z890 and for Intel's current socket, which is, I believe, LGA 1817, I think it is, that they're on. But they're going to be moving on to Intel's LGA 1956. It might change even more because they're thinking instead of going 18A, they're going to focus more onto 15A. And if that's the case, that it could possibly change the socket, but more than likely it'll be LGA 1956 that will stick around. And when that does, that will certainly be something that you're going to have to get another motherboard, especially when it comes to the 400 series, it would be called, for Intel. And they're certainly working on the 500 series as well, because the 500 series is Panther Lake. As I mentioned earlier, Panther Lake will be released within 2027, as they claim. But Steven says, hey mate, currently gaming on a 10900K with a 3080 10 gigabytes of VRAM. Just purchased a PG27 UCDM, the 4K at 240 Hz OLED. Looking at upgrading my PC now. Which parts would you recommend based on my new monitor? First off, I gotta say, you have an excellent monitor. Because my monitor is actually the PG34 WCDM. But I do have to say, with that monitor, with 4K and 240 Hz, you can certainly take full advantage of 4K. Now, Of course, the dream would be to take advantage of a 5090 if you could. But realistically, just speaking, I would go with a 5080. You'd be perfectly happy with the 5080 if you want to continue with a Intel build. Now, I do have to mention, I do have to ask, not only are you gaming, but are you also going to be using it for any type of creative use, or will you be using it for some sort of work as well? If you are, let me know, and I can certainly kind of cater a bit more to what you're looking for. Now, if you're just going off of strictly gaming, also feel free to let me know that as well, as we can go a whole nother direction with that. But for the most part, we certainly know the graphics card that you do need at least. I would recommend at least a 5080 to really fully utilize and enjoy it. Because I gotta say, those OLED colors are amazing. I know you're loving it so far. I know you can't wait to see what it would look like in a full 4K, right? Only gaming. Okay, so if you're only going to be... Are you thinking, would you go to AMD? Because AMD would be great for your build. Not obviously, you don't want to go AMD GPU for a 4K at 240 hertz. You want to go at least for a 5080, I would say. Go 5080, and you're going to go with, say, 9800 X3D would be really nice to go with your mix. Almost like Egyptian's build here, actually. Just very similar. Go with the 9800 X3D. Go with the 5080 would be really nice. And also, you want to make sure to get plenty of DDR5 RAM. You want it at least at 6,000 megahertz. And you want the minimum of 32 gigabytes at the minimum. If you're going power supply, I would recommend getting at least 1,000 watts. And also, you're going to want something like AIO. Yes, perfect. So as I mentioned, actually down if you check down my description box down below, I have the build that I have. The build that I have would practically nearly fit like everything that you need. Check it out. The only thing is, again, with the only thing you would change out is the GPU wise. You can change it to a 5080 if you don't mind spending the extra money. You could go for something like a 5090, but again, that's I feel overpriced for what it is. 5080 I feel is the perfect balance, especially for when it comes to gaming. Especially you're just gaming. I would say 5080 is certainly the best way to go. So Alishana says, hello, I just got a X870E with a Ryzen 7 9800 X3D. Which brand GPU? Sorry to cut you off, Alishani, but just to answer Steven's question real quick, when it comes to GPU, I highly recommend Gigabyte's really good when it comes to their GPU side. Also, I gotta say, ASUS is also pretty decent. Only thing I'd say about ASUS is I know that they have a bit of more coil line on theirs. And also, but those would be the two main ones I would look at, is those. MSI is also really good, actually. MSI is decent when it comes to the Supreme. If you get the Supreme, it's really good. But to answer Alishani's question real quick, hello, I got a X870E with a Ryzen 7 9800 X3D, 6,000 megahertz, 32 gigabytes, and 2 SN8100. Beast of a build, I gotta say. 14900 megabits per second, MSI 5080, Ventus 3X overclock. Should I overclock? Okay. That's a great question, actually, Alishani. I always recommend those. No, it's all good, Egyptian. It's all good. To answer your question, Alishani, do you feel like you need to overclock? Do you honestly feel that you need it? Actually, it's funny because Egyptian, he's into overclocking as well. And we were just talking a bit earlier about that. But it depends if you really need it. Do you really want to overclock? Do you feel that you need a performance boost? Do you feel like your performance is lacking? Now, it doesn't have to lack, or are you trying to create some sort of, are you trying to break some sort of record? For most of the time, you don't really have to overclock. I feel it's unnecessary unless that's what you like to do, unless that's like more of your hobby. You're trying to break certain scores and certain numbers. because that's what overclockers like to do, is beat the numbers. If that's your goal, definitely do it. Give it a shot. See if you like it. Try it out. But if you're just trying to do it just to get like maybe 5 extra frames, then it's not really worth it. Then, because the reason being is because then you are putting more strain on your system then, and it can cause a bit of premature wear. But again, it's always fun to do if that's what you're interested in. But only overclock if it's necessary. I'd say for the most part, what you would want to focus more is more of the undervolting side. You want to undervolt because then that's even better for your system and a bit more energy efficient instead of overclocking, in my opinion. My biggest concern is melting the connector, so I was thinking 5080 Astral to monitor the pins. But I did notice Gigabyte has a power indicator as well. Yes, they both have power indicators and they both are great. If you are thinking Astral's a great way to go. You don't, again, when it comes to the 12 volt high power port, biggest tip I can say is when you get the 12 volt high power port, make sure to use a direct connection instead. That I feel that is the best way to do it. So if you get the power supply, make sure it's ATX 3.1. Well, you probably have ATX 3.1, I'm assuming, or you're planning to get ATX 3.1. If you do, then direct connection is certainly best. Make sure it clicks in and make sure you see those pins are fully seated. You're gonna push with all your might anyway, believe me, when it comes to it anyway. It's like a beast. I don't want to hold it down. I also heard about underclocking for heat. Any ideas? Yes. I would say use something like, I like to use MSI Afterburner for it. It doesn't matter the brand, but you can use MSI Afterburner for any GPU. Doesn't matter. And you can do it in that sense. Oh yeah, undervolt. Thank you, dude. Yeah, no problem at all. Bro, get the NZXT N7 B650E. It's $200. Its VRAM is 16.2 M1 at 90A. So almost 1600 amps, which is plenty. Again, most of these motherboards give you plenty of VRMs, which is insane. It's like they overpack it with VRMs. And nobody's ever going to use that much either, which is the funny part. But anyway, 1600 watts for the CPU, and that's more than enough. Which is, yeah, Egyptian's correct on that side. And when it comes to the motherboard side, when you do decide to do this build, Steven, I gotta say, when you do decide to do this build, I would say you can go with you could even go with a B6, not B6, but B850 even, and you'd be happy with it. Because since you're doing it directly for gaming, then more than likely that will certainly satisfy your needs, and you would still get the frames that you're looking for and the resolution that you're looking for when it comes to your PC build. But he is right. B650E is a good choice too. $200. NZXT actually has a lot of great deals. You know, in fact, one of the things that we looked at was a case, which is going to be an upcoming stream this upcoming Saturday. I'm going to Micro Center on Saturday with a friend. He's going to do his PC build. We're going to get all the parts that day. You can see and check it out and see what he gets all together. He's not going to go too crazy on spending wise, but we'll see how much everything does come out. I'm curious to see how well it does come out, his choices, and it'll be his first build, so it'll be very interesting, I gotta say, for the most part. So August says best viewers on, oh, get out of here. Let's see, there we go. Was looking at the B650E Strix, but it's a bit pricey. B650, it's worth it though, I gotta say. If you are thinking of getting an e-gaming motherboard, it's actually a great choice. It's pricey, but it's definitely worth it. even the check the check the price comparison between the B650 and the B850E. And for the 300, the Gigabyte AI Top B850 is a monster. It's 1622 at 110 amps. But you were looking at the B850E, but it's a bit pricey. Oh, okay. So how much is the price difference, I gotta say, between the two? Between the B650, is it much more of a difference now? Because I know last time I checked, like a lot of the pricing, and again, this was a few months ago, like 4 months ago, was like a $50 difference. And that at that point, you're like, I might as well just go with the B850. But if it's a phenomenal difference, like $100 difference, then it might be worth it. And again, it all depends on the budget that you're looking for, especially if you're trying to get the 5080 Astral. I know that's going to take up a lot of the cost. Oh, I meant to say 850, not 650. Oh, okay. I would say check it out. Check out the pricing for between those two, because again, they're not really too far off. There's some slight upgrades for the B850. B650 might be the way for you to go if you can get a better deal on it, like a much better deal. It would have to be a significant better deal for you to go B650, especially because if it's a $50 difference, more than likely you're probably not going to go after the B650 over that, I would assume. So 850 is 650 in Australia. So it is a bit, wow, that is a bit pricey actually. That's pretty insane. So the 850, 650, and that's the best one. What are some of your options you were looking at, I gotta say? Another underrated board, I gotta say, you gotta take a look at take a look at MSI's Carbon, because it's a great motherboard, I gotta say. I think it is also the B850. Let me look it up real quick. 850. No. I guess only the Tomahawk. You could get the Tomahawk. That might be the better deal. Which looks something like this. If you're trying to be a little bit more strict on your budget here. Let's see. I'm going to switch over. The vertical now looks something like this. This is the Tomahawk you can get. Gigabyte also has their version, which is the AORUS Elite is also a good choice too. The one I told you, the AI top, is $460 in your country. The AI top. Oh, I missed that. Did you mention that, Egyptian? Let's see. In Australia, if they have it. Requirements are PCI Express 5 on M.2 and GPU slot. That is correct. That is going to be the requirement. Now the thing is, when it comes to the B850, it will, all the B850s certainly have PCI Express 5. It's not like how the B650 was, where some of them, like I know, like for example, I think it was ASUS's tough gaming motherboard, the B650, where the PCI Express 5, you really didn't have the full X16 on there. But the B850s, they require it. So they all should have PCI Express 5 on them now. For example, let me just double check here. I'm going to check the specifications for you real quick. So if anyone is curious and wants to join Discord, if you have any more questions, feel free to join Discord. It's down in the description box down below. And I'll switch over the screen real quick so I can show you guys. So this motherboard, switching over to vertical 2, just give me a moment. There we go. So right here, again, the expansion slots, they support up to X16 from the CPU. So that is also important. Are you okay with Amazon, Steven? He should be, I would assume. Hopefully he is. But that would be a great choice. That's a good choice from there. It's PCI Express 5, you got M.2, and it won't be as expensive. They also have the F gaming boards too when it comes to ASUS. If you're looking to match ASUS with ASUS, they do have F gaming. F gaming boards are also a good choice as well. Again, if your B850 Tough is also another choice. I did a review on that, and that's an excellent board. It just doesn't have the screen on there. Okay, I'll go on Amazon and look for you, BRB. Yeah, also feel free to. I have a bunch of stuff down in the description box. Hopefully, I got what you're looking for. If not, that's okay. Feel free to reach out on Discord. If you don't know the Discord link, it's down in the description box down below. Feel free to join in. Hopefully, you join in. And unfortunately, I wish Egyptian had Discord. It'd be nice if he did. Yeah, but B850s are the way to go. If you really are kind of on a budget, you don't have to. A lot of them will have X5 if that's what you're looking for. I mean, not X5. You're looking for PCI Express 5. Practically all of them do. It's like the requirement for when it comes to B850s. So as long as if you see that, know that you're good here. I just can't bring myself to buy it tough. I don't like the look. I don't blame you. I can understand, especially if you're trying to get a very nice look to your PC. What about the have you tried looking at the F gaming motherboard? Because their F gaming motherboards are really nice too. Let me see, B850 F gaming. Looks something like this. I'll switch it over to you. And switching over here, it looks just like this for the F gaming, which is pretty dope looking, right? Only difference is that you don't have the Q code. If you're looking for the Q code up here on the top, you just get the indicator similar to what the Tough has. I know the E-Gaming has the Q code indicator, at least on it. And this at least has RGBs and everything in there too, if that's what you're looking for as well. You do have a decent heatsink on there as well. But F gamings are definitely a good choice and a good alternative if you're looking for another version for the ROG. So the site we use in Australia is ScorpTech. Okay, let's give it a shot. Let's go look on ScorpTech real quick. And I'll switch right back once we get to ScorpTech. So it's ScorpTech Computers. I gotcha. So let's see. F Gaming B850. Okay, so from what I see, the ASUS Tough Gaming B8. Oh no, this is the Tough. Okay, let me switch back over. Right now we're just on the Australian website here. And right now we're just looking at the different motherboards. We're just about to anyway. So we're going to look for AM5. They actually got some bundles going on, which is pretty nice. So they got B650, but we want to make sure to get B850 here. There you go. Top one right here. 489. But this one comes with, so it's 400. There you go. 489 right there for the B850F gaming Wi-Fi motherboard. That's not a bad one. And then you have the Tomahawk, which I mentioned a bit earlier, which is the Max. And AORUS Elite. That was the other one. But this one, they have refurbished, which I'm sure is not what you're looking for. Of course, they got the Tough, Ace Rock. MSI Pro. These are all white. I don't think you're looking for all white either. Just as you mentioned, black. Let's see what Egyptian finds for you too, out of curiosity. They do have the... So far, it's funny that we talked about that too. So far, I really like the B850F gaming. That's definitely a good option for you to go. Again, if you this one's not in stock, it seems. Not the F gaming, but the MSI B850. If you're thinking of that, you're probably not going that direction anyway. Especially if you're trying to go match with all ASUS anyway. And here we go. Just clicking directly ASUS. And that certainly seems to be the best bet. So if I were to pick, I would say the B850F gaming and Wi-Fi is definitely the way to go. Because you can go the B850. Again, you don't like the look of tough. So again, that's going to be the gap in pricing there. Because this one, the main difference between the two, when it comes to these two, is because of course it doesn't have as many RGBs, and the Q codes will be also different on the two devices as well, the two motherboards. But yeah, well, let's see what Egyptian finds for you. But so far on ScorpTech, that's what I feel is the best deal, I can say, if you choose to go that route. Oh man, so curious. What does it? I wonder what the difference between the E and the F. The difference is going to be the headers when it comes to, like, say, the USB. M.2 is going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be a massive difference. Now, if I'm looking at this, I'll tell you, like, yeah, it has one less M.2 slot, which isn't going to go in the matter anyway, to be honest, if I'm going to be brutally honest here. It's not going to matter because you're going to want to make sure that your graphics card is at X16 anyway. So you're going to... Having 4 is perfectly good enough. As DDR4, PCI Express 5, as HDMI 2.1, 2. So another thing that may be different is going to be the Ethernet, the speed. Instead of 2.5 gigabits, you're going to have, on the e-gaming, it's going to have 5 gigabits. So that's another difference. But that's really, those two are really it. Those are the two main things I can tell you. What's up, Snecker? Good to see you. Yeah, I'm just right now we're just looking at this this motherboard, and I'm just telling the difference between the F gaming and the E gaming. But those are the main difference between the two. Other than that, it's they're going to be mostly similar. You're just going to see a difference in the Ethernet speed and the difference in M.2 drives as well. It's just going to have one less. So those are the two main differences. Everything else is going to be a little bit more minimal, such as it's probably going to have a different sound driver, for example. But more than likely, I expect it to be the same. I would have to really put them next to each other to really tell. But for the most part, that's what's going to be different. The VRMs are probably going to be a little bit different for the power stages. But yeah, that's it. I've been great. How's everything with you, Snecker? It's funny too because I've been trying to do my streams a lot earlier, so I've been just trying to make sure to. But unfortunately, I'm doing the 7 to 9 because I got pretty hungry a bit earlier. But I hope you've been great for the most part. I'm glad you joined in. It's been pretty entertaining for the most part, I gotta say. So, my thoughts on CL26 versus CL30 on DDR5 6000. If you're looking Now the difference is going to be, it's going to be a little bit of a difference. It's not going to be a crazy amount. You're going to definitely experience a bit better frames when it comes to CL26, and you'll spend a little bit more. But CL30 will certainly perform as well as you want it, especially if you're playing on 4K 240 and you want to try to hit that number. It's going to be hard to hit, honestly, 240 on 4K. But I do got to say, CL26 would be the best way to go, but CL30 is definitely certainly good enough to give you a great experience. So if you're trying to say do a little bit of cutting in certain areas, I would say for the RAM side, I would say it's good enough to go CL30 if you want, or if you're trying to figure out where to go when it comes to the motherboard side, I'd say F Gaming is perfectly good enough, to be honest. You're not going to get more frames if you go, say, for an E gaming motherboard, just put it that way. But you will get more frames if you go for the faster RAM, which is CL26. Now, if it's vice versa, you get CL30 and the better motherboard, you can do it, but you're not going to get better frames because of that. Hopefully that kind of pinpoints your idea where to go. It is fine struggling with money and business, but I'm still young, so struggling is all part of life. But I can understand exactly where you're coming from. I hope your business certainly does well. Keep going. Don't give up. It can, just like how business is, there's always ups and there's always downs. And I do hope, and I certainly hope, the best success comes to you for sure. Oh man, so guys, unfortunately, I got to end this stream coming up. I definitely will certainly be back on live on Saturday. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. I wish I was on longer, because my buddy Snecker's on. Would love to definitely talk a bit more. If you guys are curious, this Saturday we will be going to Micro Center together, and we will be getting some PC parts. And hopefully I see you guys there. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to join the Discord down in the description box down below. Would love to talk with you guys on there, especially if you have any questions. And if you don't want to ask live, perfectly understandable. Feel free to ask on Discord. Would love to answer your questions. I thank everybody for being part of tonight's stream, and I thank Stellar for being out there for us for the last video. Thank you for sponsoring that video. And again, hopefully I see you guys this upcoming Saturday. I apologize, Negger. I tried to go earlier. I will be going live 9 a.m. Eastern, US Eastern at least, which would be, I'm not too sure what time is that in Australia, I gotta say. That's also a good choice too. That's a little bit cheaper. The B650EF, you can also put that. Now that's all up to Steven, see what he decides. But yeah, make sure to join the Discord. But I will be going 9 a.m. Eastern live. But thanks again for joining, everybody. And I hope I see you guys this upcoming Saturday. Again, 9 a.m. Eastern, we'll be going to Micro Center, getting some parts together. And if I get anything, 11 a.m. So if it's 11 a.m. for you now, then it's going to be about probably, what is it? It would be around 11 p.m. Oh man, it would be nighttime for you. It would be nighttime for you then when we go to Micro Center on Saturday. So it would be the exact opposite. It would be 11 p.m. on Saturday coming up. Hopefully you're there. If not, I apologize. Unfortunately, Micro Center opens at 9. 4 a.m. I apologize for the guys over in the European region and over in Egypt, I gotta say. But thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed tonight's stream. Hopefully you subscribed and joined the Discord. thanks again so much for watching, guys. And certainly take care.